Lewis Hamilton just dropped a bombshell in Austin that left Ferrari's management completely blindsided. Why is a 7-time world champion barely cracking the top 10 in practice? What did Hamilton reveal about Christian Horner that sent shockwaves through the paddock? And is Ferrari's secret strategy actually destroying Hamilton's final shot at glory? The answers reveal a crisis at Maranello that changes everything about this season. Let's start with what actually happened in Austin, because the surface story and the real story are completely different. In the single free practice session before the United States Grand Prix sprint weekend, Lewis Hamilton finished 8th. On the surface, that might seem acceptable, but here's what the data reveals. This wasn't strategy. This was chaos. According to paddock sources, Ferrari tested 3 completely different configurations during that 1-hour session. 3 separate setups trying to find something, anything that worked. Hamilton reported constant rear grip loss through the fast to slow corner transitions, but the telemetry showed something even more alarming. The hybrid system was delivering inconsistent power output, small fluctuations that disrupted the entire car balance on exits. While McLaren was running aggressive qualifying simulations and setup experiments, Ferrari was simply validating simulator data. They weren't hunting for performance, they were managing damage. And this pattern isn't isolated to Austin. It's been the story of Ferrari's entire season. The SF25 struggles with ride height, particularly critical on circuits like Austin, where elevation changes demand millimetric precision. Tire degradation over long runs remains catastrophically high, forcing engineers into conservative setups that sacrifice lap time just to prevent the tires from collapsing. But Hamilton's on-track struggles weren't even the biggest story coming out of Austin. What he said next would change Ferrari's entire trajectory. Just as Ferrari was trying to focus on the final races of a difficult season, rumors exploded across the paddock. Christian Horner, Red Bull's mastermind team principal, was potentially being lined up for Ferrari. The whispers suggested management was losing confidence in Fred Vasseur. The timing was devastating. Sprint weekend, 1 hour of practice, a team already fighting technical problems, and now leadership speculation threatening to tear apart their focus. That's when Hamilton decided enough was enough. In Austin, Hamilton delivered a statement that cut through all the paddock noise. He called the Horner rumors distracting and unhelpful and made his position crystal clear. His faith in Fred Vasseur was absolute and unshakable. He reminded everyone that Ferrari had already secured Vasseur with a new long-term contract. He pointed out that the people at Maranello were working tirelessly to improve, and spreading unverified speculation only made their job harder. The message landed like a hammer. Ferrari doesn't need chaos. It needs unity. You might think this solved Ferrari's problems. Hamilton defended his team principle, shut down the rumors, refocused everyone on performance. Crisis averted, right? But here's what Hamilton's statement actually exposed, and this is where the real story begins. Hamilton's defense of Vasseur wasn't just about loyalty. It revealed something Ferrari hasn't publicly acknowledged, and something that explains everything about why this partnership is struggling. Ferrari has frozen development on the SF25, while McLaren has been rolling out aggressive updates to the MCL39, optimizing suspension, improving aerodynamics. And while Mercedes has introduced front aerodynamic packages that increase their competitiveness on technical circuits, Ferrari made a drastically different choice. The Maranello technical department decided, even before the summer break, to allocate the majority of their resources toward 2026. The SF25 received its last major updates mid-year, focused on the rear axle. Since then, nothing significant. In modern Formula One, where top teams introduce updates every 3 or 4 races, Ferrari has essentially given up on this season. This isn't speculation. The evidence is in every practice session, every qualifying, every race. The car's sensitivity to track temperature forces compromise after compromise. The inability to find consistent balance means Hamilton can't build the confidence he needs. Every lap is unpredictable. Every corner is a question mark. In recent interviews, Hamilton admitted something that should alarm every Ferrari fan. He underestimated the transition process. He believed his experience would be enough to master the new car within a few races. The reality has been completely different. The SF25 requires a fundamentally different driving style than the Mercedes he spent over a decade perfecting. But here's the critical point. It's not just that the car is difficult. It's that the car isn't improving. Hamilton is trying to adapt to a moving target that's actually standing still while everyone else moves forward. And this development freeze reveals Ferrari's real strategy, one that puts Hamilton's entire legacy at risk. What we're witnessing at Ferrari isn't just a technical problem. It's a philosophical crisis. They're not racing to win this season. They're racing not to lose more than absolutely necessary while betting everything on 2026. Look at the pattern in Austin. Sprint format weekend, limited practice time. Every top team maximizes that window. Wing changes, differential variations, aerodynamic load testing, race simulations. Ferrari, they made minor ride height corrections and adjusted tire pressures. That's it. This is a team that has stopped fighting for the present because they've convinced themselves the future will be different. The technical language around Maranello now revolves entirely around 2026. New engine regulations, internal revolution, supposed transformation. But here's the brutal reality. Red Bull has shown cracks this season. McLaren and Mercedes have proven vulnerable in certain conditions. There were opportunities for Ferrari to fight, to win races, to build momentum heading into the regulatory change. Instead, they've chosen strategic resignation. For Hamilton, this creates an impossible situation. His move to Ferrari was sold as historic, the chance to deliver the Scuderia's first championship since 2008. But with each race, that narrative dissolves. Not because Hamilton isn't performing, he's doing everything possible with a flawed tool, but because the project lacks competitive direction right now in the moment that matters. The Austin weekend becomes a perfect microcosm. Hamilton successfully defended Vasseur, unified the team's focus, shut down distracting speculation. He showed leadership that goes beyond driving, but none of that changes the fundamental problem. Ferrari has a development-frozen car and a team that stopped competing for this season. So here's what we're left with. Can Ferrari actually deliver a championship-winning package in 2026? Or is their early resource allocation another strategic miscalculation in a long history of them? Will Hamilton's patience and professionalism hold as another season passes without podiums, victories, or championship contention? And perhaps most importantly, has Ferrari's decision to sacrifice the present for the future already wasted the opportunity to maximize one of the greatest drivers Formula One has ever seen? What happened in Austin wasn't just another disappointing weekend. Hamilton's statement revealed the disconnect between Ferrari's public image and their private reality. They have a 7-time world champion who showed leadership, unity, and commitment. But they've given him a car that's not evolving and a strategy that's abandoned this season entirely. The data is clear. The patterns are undeniable. And unless something changes dramatically in Ferrari's approach, we might be watching one of motorsport's most anticipated partnerships become one of its most painful missed opportunities. What's your take? Is Ferrari's 2026 gamble justified, or are they wasting Hamilton's final competitive years? Let me know in the comments and subscribe because this story is far from over.